What's up guys and gals, Aaron here from BikeBandit.com, and today we're going to be showing you a few tricks you can use to make changing the oil in your motorcycle a lot easier, so stay tuned. Oil is the lifeblood of your motorcycle, and changing your oil and filter regularly is one of the most essential things you need to do to maintain your bike properly. But if you take it to the dealership every time you need an oil change, you're going to go broke doing it.
Dang, man, you charges got $300 for oil change, man? Dang, that's got crazy, man.
We'd rather save you that time and money, so we're going to show you how to do it yourself, along with a few pro tips to help make this job go a lot smoother overall. So let's get started. When changing your oil, there are a few things that can make this job a bit of a pain in the ass. First of all, it's messy. Oil tends to get everywhere, and when it gets on exhaust parts, it smokes as it burns, which is no fun. Second, it's easy to burn yourself while doing this job if you're not careful. And third, and this will annoy you the most if you're OCD about your bike like I am, it's tough to get all the old used oil out of the system before you put the new oil in. The good news is, we have tips to help you get around all these things that we're going to show you today while doing this oil change. First, let's go over the supplies we're going to use. We're going to need new oil and a filter. Check your owner's manual to see how much oil you'll need. I'm going to be using 4 liters of Repsol 4T 10W40 oil in my bike. I also recommend you use a K&N oil filter, and I'll show you why later. You'll also need a catch pan with a spout, a wheel chock or rear stand to stand the bike up straight, a wrench for your drain plug. In this case, I'll need a 17mm. I'll also use a 17mm wrench for the oil filter, a funnel, nitrile gloves, and to clean up some rags and brake cleaner. In addition, grab whatever tools you need to access the filter and drain plug. On this bike, I'll just need a 5mm Allen key to get the fairings off. Now that we have all the supplies we need, let's go ahead and get started. First, stand the bike upright using a chock or stand. This is important because it lets us get the most accurate view of the sight glass, which we'll use to check the oil level later. Next, we'll need to gain access to the oil drain plug and oil filter. On a sport bike like this, usually just do this by removing the lower fairings. Next, we're going to break loose the oil drain plug and the oil filter. We're not removing them yet, just getting them loose while the bike is cold. Doing this now prevents us from having to mess with them too much while they're scalding hot later. Now we're going to start the bike and run it until it's warm. This thins the oil and makes it run out a lot easier, which will help us get it all out when we drain it. Now here's a tip to make draining it a lot less messy. If your filter or drain plug is near any exhaust parts, like my header is, cover it with aluminum foil before you start it up. This will keep oil off these hot parts when we drain it, and when the job is done, we can just crumple it up and toss it. Okay, now once we've gotten the bike warmed up, we're ready to drain. Pull off the filter and drain plug, which should be easy since we loosened them earlier, and let all that old oil run out for a few minutes. Now after the oil has stopped running out, there will still be quite a bit of oil sitting in the bottom of the engine. But we have a trick to get this out. What we're going to do is set the bike up so that it will turn over but not start. On this bike there's a diagnostic mode that will keep the bike from firing up. But on your bike, you may be able to pull the fuses for the fuel pump to achieve the same result. This sounds weird now, but you'll see why we do this in a minute. Now with my bike in its diagnostic mode, I'm going to crank it a few times with the filter still off. Now watch how much more dirty oil comes out of the filter boss when I do this. Be careful because it might squirt pretty far. If you do end up spilling some oil like I did, a little brake cleaner will clean that right off. Okay, with that done, we've gotten as much dirty oil out as we can. Now let's get it back together and get it ready for fresh new oil. First, let's clean off the drain plug bolt with a little brake cleaner and reinstall it. Now when you do this, don't get over eager with the torque. Remember, you're screwing this big bolt into soft aluminum. Your best bet is to check your owner's manual and torque it to spec using a torque wrench. On this bike, that's only 31 foot-pounds, which isn't a whole lot. Next, we'll install the oil filter. Before throwing it on though, we're going to prime it by filling it with oil first. This is so when we start it up again, oil gets flowing through the system right away. All we have to do is fill it up and let the oil soak into the media for a minute. Now earlier I said I'd tell you why I recommend using a K&N filter. It's because they have this 17mm nut integrated into them, which makes installation and removal a heck of a lot easier than using an oil filter wrench. They're also pre-drilled for safety wire, which will come in handy if you're going to be doing any racing or track days. Once that's on, we can get this area cleaned up with a little bit of brake cleaner. Okay, now with the bottom end all buttoned up, we can add in our new oil. Using the funnel, pour it in carefully until it appears at the bottom of the sight glass, then stop. This is because after you stop pouring, the level will continue to rise as the oil runs down into the oil pan. Once it levels off, start the bike and let it run for a few minutes, which will get the oil running through all the passages in the oil system. Once that's done, let the oil settle once again, then add as much oil as necessary to get the oil level right between these two marks on the sight glass. Once you're there, that's it. Your oil change is done. All you need to do now is get your fairings back on and you'll be ready to hit the road again. Well, we really hope you found these oil changing tips helpful. You won't find all of them in your service manual, but they do make our lives easier here at BikeBandit, and we hope they make your lives easier too. If you have any questions about anything we went over in the video, go ahead and leave them in the comments below and we'll get back to you right away. Well, that's about it for today, guys and gals. Thanks a lot for watching, and remember to please hit that little red button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate the support and we'll return the favor by sending you more helpful videos just like this one in your inbox every week. Ride safe, and we'll see you next time.